I've always wanted to just kind of like throw everything away and start fresh, getting rid of over half of my makeup. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Serein, and just like the title of this video says, I'm going to be trying to do a massive makeup declutter, getting rid of over half of my makeup collection. I absolutely hate that word, makeup collection. It's something that the YouTube beauty community kind of started, and it really effed up our mentality when it comes to makeup and beauty. Reality is, we don't need a makeup collection. Of all the things in our lives to collect, makeup should not be one of them. There's always going to be something new, something more innovative, something better. And the amount of makeup I even have now, which is a third of maybe what it was a few years ago, I still can't get to all of it. This is what spurred me to kind of wipe the slate clean. It's going to be very challenging for me because there's a part of me that's still very much that over-consumer, more is more, shopaholic, emotional spending person. I have always had issues with emotional spending. I grew up with a lot of bad habits. Shopping to me meant that things were going to be okay. And if I was sad, if I was depressed, if I felt things were off, shopping and buying things always made things better. And it wasn't until about 2019 when everything kind of hit a breaking point financially, mentally, and me just realizing that more is more isn't really true. In fact, it was causing a lot of stress and anxiety, financial stress, emotional stress, and this constant need to fill a hole that was not fillable through consuming products and items. And the really crazy thing is, my channel was originally called Dress Yourself Happy. It started because I was really depressed and having a lot of trouble. Therapy wasn't necessarily working. I was having a lot of issues making connection, and I started to watch the YouTube beauty community, which helped me realize that I can dress myself happy. I can work on my inside and my outside. And there was this beautiful community of people that really enjoyed beauty products, and it felt like friends just talking about beauty products, because I was always that friend that always loved trying new makeup products, read every magazine, knew what all the celebrities and people on set were wearing, and heard about these indie brands that were harder to find. Found this community was very just not so serious and fun. Made me want to like go to Sephora and the drugstores and try products again. But that very quickly became not only a way for me to have a creative outlet and to express myself and build a community, but it also fed into my tendencies for emotional spending and shopaholicism. I would suddenly excuse my shopping addiction because I was growing my channel. I ended up spending like tens of thousands of dollars buying products to review for my YouTube channel as I was growing it. Luckily, very quickly, I also started to be put on brand PR lists, but lo and behold, you're never on enough brand PR lists. There's always something that you're not going to get in the mail. The social media hype at the time was so real, and still is over on TikTok now. I still spent a lot of money because while I would get on a lot of brand PR lists, I still had all of these other ones. And the reality is, I will never try everything. It's impossible. And I will never be able to afford to buy everything. I would get comments and people would ask me about an opinion or ask me to try something else, and I would immediately go buy it and try it out. And I was just feeding into this unsustainable way of running my channel and my life. And also, I think you guys also felt that. It was just overwhelming. It made me feel sad suddenly. It made me feel like I never had enough, which was why around 2019, I had to reevaluate my relationship with spending. In 2019, I did my no buy year that was influenced by Hannah Louise Poston. She did it the previous year, and I discovered her channel because I had started talking about how I felt overwhelmed and anxious with how much stuff I accumulated over the last few years, because with success, there's the lifestyle creep. You start spending more, and I would use the excuse of, well, I'm making money on my YouTube channel, so I should reinvest it. And instead of reinvesting it in it wisely, I reinvested it in shopping more and products and upgrading cameras rapidly. That was a huge kind of like turning point for me and my content. And I really loved what Hannah Louise Poston was doing. And she does this beautiful way of enjoying beautiful things without overspending and having an uncomfortable or unsustainable relationship with money and consuming. I did my own no buy year with different rules, and I really learned a lot about myself and my relationship with shopping. It really set me up for a better frame of mind when it came to consuming. And then 2020 happened, and I was doing pretty good up until pregnancy and then postpartum. That in itself is a period of time when you do need to consume things. And I feel like I was doing a pretty good balance of consuming what I thought I might need as a new mom and what our baby needed, and also finding that balance. But 2020 was kind of scary because it was the first time where, you know, my hoarding tendencies would have came in handy when it came to cleaning supplies, food, and toilet paper. But I had really just minimized my consumption to what we needed. It was a very strange time. I think for all of us, it was a very strange time, obviously. I've been very honest on Instagram and here, I feel like, about my postpartum depression that I dealt with and continue to still kind of come out of. It's been almost 2 years. My baby is now almost 19 months old. Been struggling a lot mentally. And I started to notice some of my old habits regarding consuming and shopping and spending starting to creep back in. And I don't like it because it's not helping me. It's not fixing the problem. The problem is I need to figure out who I am, what I want to create, what I want to put out into the world. And overconsumption is not what I want to put out into the world. It's hard because with a ever-growing toddler who needs new clothes and shoes and lots of snacks and food on hand at any given time, and new toys to stimulate her mind and her creativity, it's like this fine tightrope that I'm constantly balancing. And with me almost at 2 years after having my first baby, I also have to kind of replenish my wardrobe because a lot of things don't fit from pre-pregnancy and postpartum. Like, things are just kind of off still. I had to buy some new clothes, but I also noticed I was getting too comfortable with the spending. It's actually why I am doing No by July over on TikTok. And I also did a video that I did post up here on YouTube. It's like a 1-minute video sharing with you my rules for No by July in case you were curious and wanted to maybe find the motivation or inspiration to do a no buy / low buy for yourself. My lifestyle's drastically changed over the last few years, specifically after becoming a mom. I just don't wear that much makeup. I never wore a ton of makeup, but I really don't wear that much makeup. And I do love testing new products, and new products do come in, and I still do spend money when I want to try new things. But things have just started to accumulate in a way that makes me uncomfortable. I also go to a local shelter where I donate a lot of our old baby stuff. They were saying that they needed products, hygiene products, which I went through my stash and I'm donating 2 large boxes over there. But I also think that makeup is fun, especially for women who are maybe having a hard time. I know that for me, playing with makeup, putting makeup on always makes me feel better. So if there's anything that is in good condition, it's going to be sent over there. And then anything that is expired or a little not sanitary is going to be emptied out, cleaned out, and TerraCycled. I will always have more makeup and beauty products than any one person should ever have because of the nature of my profession, and I love it. I'm grateful for it. But I need to wipe the slate clean a little bit. I remember loving every single piece of product in my makeup drawer because it used to only just be one bathroom drawer. And I would love to get to that point one day. I don't think that's going to be possible with just the age we live in and what I do for a living. It's gonna be really hard because I still have this ex-beauty guru mindset of more is more sometimes. I always have this thought in the back of my head of like, but what if I need it? What if I do need that full coverage foundation? Or what if I need that tinted moisturizer? Or I don't not like it, I just don't use it as much because I have 5 others. So I do have this tendency to like, just because I like it, I want to keep it around, and the what if situation. But the reality is that what if situation usually doesn't happen before that product goes bad and someone else can get lots of use out of it. Or I am in a position where I am privileged enough that if I needed a full coverage foundation for whatever reason, I can go get one. I don't need to hoard it. I don't need to keep it and let it slowly rot away while someone else can be getting use out of it. That is the very long intro of why I am trying to get rid of pretty much all of my makeup. 1, to wipe the slate clean. 2, to give it to people that can get use out of it. 3, because I feel a little overwhelmed. 4, I think this would make a good video for No by July. And 5, I've always wanted to just kind of like throw everything away and start fresh. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not ready for that. This is what my situation looks like right now. I have a 2-drawer IKEA desk as my vanity. I also want to replace this soon. The vanities I've been looking at are a lot smaller. It's not going to have the 3-drawer system I've added to this 2-drawer desk. At most, it'll have the 2 drawers. You want to just condense everything for if and when I get my vanity that I want. The thing is, this drawer system's not great because Lillian keeps going in there and pulling things out. And for the most part, I try to keep things out of her hands and out of her reach. But if you have a almost 2-year-old rambunctious toddler in your life, you know it's pretty much impossible. Over the years, if you've been watching my declutter videos, you know I went from a huge collection down. And I think this will be the smallest collection, I hate that word, for makeup that you'll ever see here until I do it again, maybe. I don't know, man. I'm so stressed about this right now as I'm talking about it. But I would love to have my makeup and skincare be like Rachel Talbot. She used to be called Check in the Mirror. She was a beauty channel, and then over the years she's really grown and matured and evolved in this beautiful way. I aspire to have less but still have everything I need to run a household and to entertain my kids and feel good about myself. So let's get started. The easiest and most effective way for me, I think, and for you, is to lay out everything in one category and go through every product individually. I am also going to have a basket of products that I need to test out before making a decision, and that is going to sit on top of my current vanity so that I reach for it and test it out for a couple of days before I decide whether or not I'm going to keep it or declutter it. Starting off, we're going to look at the primers I have. I think this is a good amount of primers for somebody who is a supposed beauty blogger. I hate using that term because I am more of a lifestyle enthusiast these days, and I'm on a continued journey to dress myself happy as well as eat myself happy. Let's go into this. This is the one product I use pretty much every single day. This is the Euphoria Pregame. This is my second one, and you can see it's very well loved. I love that it comes in a pump. It is incredible. I don't know how to explain it other than it just makes your skin look better. It works on all skin types. You can use it before SPF or after your SPF. When I first used it, I was using it as my base before SPF, and then I've been using it over my SPF these days as almost like my only face product with concealer over it. One tube, using it every single day, lasts me maybe 2 to 3 months, depending on how much I feel like I need. During the summer, you don't need as much. During the winter, I used more because it's very hydrating. It locks in the moisture, locks in your skincare. It's like slugging for daytime, but not in a greasy, messy way. I have pretty normal to oily skin, and I still use this. It is so freaking good, and I will definitely repurchase it if I'm not on my no-buy and after I use up some other similar products. But this is very good. Highly recommend. Love it. This is the NARS Soft Matte Primer Base Tint. I just don't really use this because I don't really wear the soft matte foundation that often. It is definitely more of a full coverage for me foundation. It's a beautiful foundation, just not really fitting to my lifestyle. So I was keeping it around in case I wanted more of a full coverage look, but I'm going to let it go. Here's the RMS Beauty Re-Evolve Radiant Locking Primer. And the only reason I'm keeping this, first of all, I bought this before I discovered Euphoria, and I bought this before Euphoria came out with Pregame. I am going to keep this only because I'm running out of my Pregame. Now, it is not going to replace my Pregame. However, if I run out of pregame before I have the chance to order a new one, I'm going to try and use this one up. It's not similar. It's definitely more of like a radiant, moisturizing, glowy pink tint, whereas the pregame, which I don't even want to like swatch because it's gold to me, has more of a yellowish tint, and it's going to help with any redness. The Youthforia one is going to help with more redness. The RMS Beauty one is definitely just more hydrating and radiant. Nothing wrong with it. I just really love this thing, and I feel like my skin has gotten better with the Youthforia one. I haven't used the RMS one that consistently because shortly after I purchased this, I got this. I'm gonna keep these two around just because the RMS one is my backup for running out of Youthforia. The Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops is such a viral hit on TikTok. I never really used it as a primer. It's a very beautiful gel-like texture, and I want to keep this around because I feel like I need to test it out a little bit more. So this is actually going to go in that basket of I need to test it before I decide whether or not I'm going to keep it or declutter it. So the reason I just never reach for this one is because I'm so obsessed with my Youthforia. So I'm gonna have a basket that literally sits in front of me when I get ready. I have such a routine these days, and I'm always in such a hurry that I just reach for my go-tos, and this needs to be in front of me so that I use it. In summary, I am going to keep the Youthforia and the RMS Beauty. From Glow Recipe is going to go in my need to decide pile. I am going to be decluttering the NARS Soft Matte Primer. Medium to full coverage foundations. This is my least worn category, and it needs to honestly just be like 1 or 2 products, but it's so hard for me because I always have the what if mentality. But the reality is I only ever wear medium to full coverage products maybe once or twice a month. Sometimes I'll wear it more just depending on my mood, but these are not products I wear very often. Therefore, they're going to just sit and get bad. Let's go through them. This has been around for a while. It's an amazing product from Dermablend. I love Dermablend products. They're very good, high quality, very fair price point. This is the CC cream. It has an SPF 50 plus. It has incredible full coverage foundation coverage. It's really good for acneic skin. This is the shade 35N for light to medium 1. If you are MAC NC 25 or 30, this would be a good shade match for you. I always have all of my popular foundation shades in my frequently asked questions section of my website, sereinwu.com, always linked in the description box. I love that it has a high SPF. Not going to ever wear this as just my SPF, but it's always good to have extra. There's still quite a lot of life left to this. It is expiring next year, so I'm actually going to pass this on because while I think this is a great full coverage product, it's just not going to get worn by me enough, and someone else with my skin tone can get a lot of use out of this. So this is going to go in the donate pile. I love this product. However, I just haven't reached for it because if I want something with a more glowy medium coverage foundation, I honestly just wear my Kosas ones, or I just wear Skin Tint. I've been taking really good care of my skin my entire life, and I feel like it's finally showing, or not finally showing, but it's really truly showing, and I'm allowing it to show by wearing less. And as I'm creeping up to 40, I also feel that the less coverage I have, the better my skin looks and the more youthful my skin looks. So this is a beautiful, youthful, glowy, moisturizing, like skin foundation. I've had it for a couple years and I just feel like someone else can get use out of it. The shade I have is 5. It's a little bit light for me. I'm going to show you. It's not too light, but it is a little bit light. It feels incredible. It's like water almost, but if I need it, I will get it again in a deeper shade or a deeper tone. It's such a good product, but I don't need it. I don't reach for it. I haven't reached for it in a while, so I am gonna let it go. Orsay Cosmetics makes a beautiful foundation that was formulated specifically for Asian skin tones and Asian skincare needs. Asians have a tendency to have a lot of excess sebum on the surface, but be dehydrated underneath. So a lot of the times, especially if you are Southeast Asian or East Asian, you might think you have just very oily skin, but the reality is we're dehydrated underneath. We just have a lot of excess sebum on top. So the formulation of Orsay foundation is really great for our skincare needs. Skin tones are beautiful for us. If you have had trouble finding something that matches, that doesn't come off too yellow or orange. Oftentimes in traditional foundations, we're matched too yellow, too orange, and Orsay just does a beautiful job. But once again, this is a medium to full coverage, and it's just not something I reach for that often anymore. So I am either 030 or 020. 030 is my summer shade and 020 is my winter shade. I do have a 020 in my stash that's unopened that I'm going to keep because it's unopened, and maybe I'll revisit it in the fall winter months, but for the summer I just don't tend to reach for this, so I am going to let it go and maybe somebody else will love it. Next up is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and this is in the shade Fiji. Really beautiful foundation. Shade range is a little wonky and I have no issues with it. Love that it comes in a pump. This to me is a beautiful like skin finish. It's just not something I reach for. Once again, same kind of issue with the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude. I just don't reach for it because I rather do a skin tint. Nothing wrong with it though. Absolutely love NARS complexion products. This one is brand new. I bought it because I loved it in a different shade, and I just feel like I should give this away so that someone could use it because I have so many other products to go through. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24 Fresh Wear. This is in the shade 425. It's a really beautiful medium to full coverage buildable foundation. It lasts all day. If you need a long wear product, this is the one I would recommend. So it comes in a pump too, in a glass packaging. L'Oreal's killing it with their foundations lately. So anyways, this is really good. I'm just letting it go because I don't need it. This is from Shiseido. This is their Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. It's oil-free. It has an SPF 30. I love this foundation. This is my winter shade. It's 260 Cashmere. It's way too light for me. Even in the winter time, it was a little light, so I'm going to let this go. If I want it again, I will just purchase it in a different shade. Love the frosted packaging. Love this product, actually. It's just, I never wear it because it's the wrong shade. So the two foundations I am going to keep that's more of a medium to full coverage is the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. This is the shade Light, Medium, Neutral, and Warm 190, and then this is Light, Medium, Neutral 200. So currently I'm wearing 200 for the summer months, and I don't know if there's like enough of a difference for me to keep both. So actually, let me just swatch it before I tell you I'm keeping both. You can see that the Light, Medium, Neutral 190 is a little bit pinkier, and then the 200 is a little bit more true to my skin tone. It's more of like an olivey tone. So I actually think I'm gonna get rid of the 190 just because the 200 is definitely a better match. So I'm gonna keep the 200. This is going to be my medium to full coverage foundation. I'm also going to wipe that off, make sure it's nice and clean. Voila. This has been my, like, if I need to wear foundation, this is what I've been reaching for. It's beautiful. It makes my skin just look better, but it doesn't feel heavy. It feels really comfortable. I really, really enjoy this one. Now, I have two cream products. I really love cream foundations, especially in the winter time. This is the Good Apple Foundation in Medium 027. I think I'm going to keep this around a little bit longer. It is still good. I got it towards the end when it kind of had a restock after it went viral. It's a beautiful, beautiful product. It reminds me a lot of my DMK foundation that I used to love and rave about. It's such a great product. Now, if you are super oily, I just don't think you're gonna like this. I have normal to oily skin. It's not something I would wear necessarily in the very hot months, but it is something I like when I'm a little bit more dehydrated. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm really upset about this Westman Atelier stick foundation. I was color matched to this in store, and it's just such a horrible color match for me. This is in Atelier 4. It's a Vital Skin foundation stick. You'll see here, it's just so freaking orange, and it doesn't blend out very well. It's very thick. It's almost drying. I feel like it's a very drying product for it to be a stick foundation. I think that there are so many better ones out there, which is unfortunate because this was very expensive, and I should have listened to my gut, trusted my gut, and not trusted the color match. So I'm going to let that go. Hopefully somebody will have the right color match wherever this ends up. To recap, I will be keeping my Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation in the shade Light Medium Neutral 200 and my Good Apple Foundation Medium 027. I will be decluttering the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh 24 Wear, the Westman Atelier, the NARS Light Reflecting, the Orsay, the Shiseido, the Dermablend, Giorgio Armani, and a different shade of the Kosas. Now, as you can tell, I have really great things to say about all of these products, and that's because I'm done a very good job at making sure I only keep products that I feel are good and worth keeping. If I've tested something and I feel any doubts about it, it immediately moves on. It finds a new home. If I like something and I keep reaching for it for a few days, or I think it's a really good product that I might find need for, that's when I keep it. But I do not keep anything that is questionable or that I have doubts with, except for something like this where I spent so much money on it and it just keeps disappointing me, but because of the cost, I keep it. So that's unfortunate. But for the most part, everything I'm talking about, I'm gonna have pretty good reviews on. I might have some kind of weird things about packaging or maybe shade range, but you can pretty much guarantee that if it's in this video, it's something that might work for you. I am in my late 30s. I have pretty normal skin, like I mentioned, and I have enlarged pores that I manage and take care of. I have minimal breakouts. I do get a little oily and greasy in my T-zone, and I do suffer from underneath dehydration here and there. Here is my largest category of base makeup, and this is going to be any of your skin tints, lighter coverage foundations, and tinted SPFs. This is my favorite category. This is the category that I reach for the most if I'm going to wear a base. Most days I just wear concealer, but this is where I reach for if I want a little bit more put togetherness, if I want a little bit more coverage. It's gonna be hard. Let's start with Tower 28. This is Sunny Days. I have the shade Mulholland 20 is my shade. I love this. This is something that is a lot more coverage than I expected. So if you want a good tinted moisturizer, SPF 30, good for sensitive skin, specifically dermatitis prone or eczema prone skin, this is your product. The physical SPF, it is reef safe, alcohol free, it's a mineral sunscreen, and it has very decent coverage. I feel like the shade range is a little hard to determine, so hopefully by me letting you know my shade, it's helpful. So this shade is a little bit light for me right now, but I like to keep it around because on days that I want to maybe go take photos or video outside, this gives me a little boost of protection over my SPF skincare and also a little bit of coverage. So it is something I really love. I also absolutely adore the brand, what they stand for, and I adore the brand founder, Amy, who I do have on my podcast, Behind the Beauty. She's absolutely incredible. Love the team there. Definitely going to keep this also because I have I feel like I used so much of it, I might actually be able to empty this. So I'm going to keep that around a little longer, and it expires next year. So I have plenty of time for the SPF. This one from Wet n Wild, it's the Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. This I purchased when it first came out, and then I visited it a few weeks ago because of, I think it's Green Eggs and Glam or Green Jen on TikTok. She loves this thing. So I pulled it out again and tried it, and I'm like really impressed with it. This is really good. It's affordable. It's a beautiful tinted moisturizer kind of product. It's very, very lightweight. It goes on just like skin. It feels so good. So I need to put this in my, I need to play with it more, see if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to let it go, because I do have a lot of tinted products I like. These two products from Cali Ray, it's the same product. It's called Free Dreaming. It's their Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint. I don't know if it's the shade match that's not working with me. It reminds me a lot of the Kosas tinted skin oil. It's just not anything to really write home about. I don't hate it, but I also just don't reach for it because, so number 4 is too peachy and number 6 is too dark. So I feel like the shades aren't that great. I don't really find a need for it. And I have a lot of other tinted products that are a little easier to use, that I enjoy a little more, that are better shade matches for me. So I'm going to let these go. This is something I have to keep playing with because I've used it maybe a handful of times. It's from Rose Inc. It's their Skin Enhancing Luminous Tinted Serum. It reminds me a lot of the Chanel Les Beige Water Fresh tint, except this is more oily. And I was talking with Amy, who's the founder of Wildcat, at lunch about this product because it kind of does this weird thing. I know you're supposed to use a brush and it does blend out. The shade is very hard to work with because it's hard to like shade match yourself because of the pigment breaking like that. And I want to say that it's good, but I honestly don't reach for it because I don't love it. I don't know what about it. So I'm going to try it a couple more times. I'm going to put it in that like decide later box. And if you want to have updates on that, I can do an update video here, or I might just update you guys over on TikTok and Instagram. This weird, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but I don't think I love it. But I don't want to get rid of it just yet because I paid like $45 for this. So I'm going to put it in the, I'm going to try it a couple more times pile. Now, this is the Chanel Les Beige Water Fresh Tint. Love this stuff. It's so beautiful. It's cooling on the skin. It looks like your skin, but slightly better and more hydrated. So I definitely want to use this up. It was also very pricey, so I'm going to keep this. I will be letting go of this Milani Glow. I just found the shade range to be a little difficult to find the perfect match for me. It feels incredible on the skin. It's very lightweight, but I think the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, if I'm going to keep one, I would keep that one over the Milani one. Declutter that one. Rare Beauty Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer. I really love the formula of this. I don't love trying to find my color match. It's very peachy, and I don't know if it's just a color match issue or if it's the shade range. I think it's a little hard to find your shade. I don't think it's awful. I just don't think it's my shade necessarily, but I do have another year with it, and I feel like the shade would match me when I lose a little bit more of my tan. The reason I think they sent me this shade, which I don't even know what shade this is, it's 26W, I think is because they color matched me in the winter time, and I'm significantly darker and tanner in the summertime, especially with how much time I spend outside with my daughter. So I think I have to play with this a little bit more to decide if I want to keep it. I really like the formula, like I said. I just don't know if the shade is my perfect shade. You know how sometimes it's not totally off, but something's off at the same time. So I'm going to keep this for now. Here's something I know I'm going to let go of because the shade match is way too light, and that was my fault. I color matched myself. I really think this is an incredible high coverage BB cream that's also very good for sensitive skin, and it's fragrance free. If you have sensitive skin, if you're trying to like eliminate some ingredients, this is the brand to look at. Jane Iredale Glow Time Pro BB cream, SPF 25. Definitely wear SPF underneath. This is in the shade, which I don't even know. It's a very, very high coverage product. too high coverage for me for day to day. So I'm gonna let it go. This has been sitting around in my drawer unopened for over a year, maybe 2 years now. This is one of the original favorites of mine, Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream, SPF 30. It's so good, but it is very old, so I'm gonna let that go. This is worth the hype, guys. If you're looking for a good drugstore product, this is the True Match from L'Oreal Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. I have the shade 2-3 Light. The shade range is a little strange. I think I need a medium shade for summer. The packaging is also a little bit messy, but it's a beautiful lightweight foundation. It's so good, and I want to keep it just because it's good. So I don't know that I'm gonna reach for it though, because I have that Kosas one, but it's so good. I think I'm gonna keep it. This is such a cult favorite, and it's so good. It's the MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body Radiant Sheer Foundation. This is in the shade C2 because the shade for face and body is a little bit different from traditional MAC shades. Love this stuff. This, you can like pile it on and it never looks cakey and heavy. This is super ultra long wear. It's what I wear if I need to look radiant and beautiful and like just perfect all day. And you shake it up real good. And this is just such a beautiful, beautiful foundation. Highly, highly worth the hype. It feels like water. I'm definitely keeping this. I probably need a slightly deeper shade for winter, but for summer, but I'm just gonna live with it right now. This is the CC Plus Nude Glow. I really love these. I have 2 shades because I feel like I'm in between shades. So I wish they sent me a light medium, or if they don't have a light medium, I don't know. I wish they made a light medium. This is like a elevated version of the original CC Plus cream, I feel like. I'm so happy they came out with this version because I used to be a die-hard fan of the original CC Plus, but as I have grown and changed, I felt like it was too much coverage. It was too full coverage. So this is the more light coverage, medium. It's still medium coverage, but it just has more radiance to it. It's very brightening. I absolutely love this. I have 2 shades because I'm kind of in between shades. I don't want to keep both shades. So that's medium. And then this is the light. And I'm literally in between both shades. I hate that I have to keep both to be able to wear it. I mean, I guess I could get away with wearing light, but I also feel like I'm medium right now. Anyways, I'm gonna keep both just because it's a shade situation and they were sent to me, but very, very beautiful product. Oh God, the controversy of Jones Road. I can't decide about this thing. I used it a couple times. I did a review on it over on TikTok and Instagram. It's just kind of a mess. It's not great. Like, I think it was very quickly formulated. I don't know. And it smells. It has such a strong fragrance for it being clean beauty. It's just a greasy mess. If you're super, super dry, you're gonna love this. If you are super, super dry and you don't want a lot of coverage, I think you'll like this. I think this looks better on you throughout the day, but it's just so messy. I want to keep it around because I paid so much money for this, but at the same time, I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to put it in a let's try it a couple more times pile and then decide, just because it just feels so wasteful. Products that I'm keeping are the CC Plus Nude Glow from IT Cosmetics, my MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body, my L'Oreal True Match Nude, the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer, my water tint from Chanel, and the Tower 28 Sunny Days. This is probably going to be my largest pile of face products because of the fact that I just love it. This is still too much. I wish I could let go of more, but I can't because I'm already having issues right now. I would love to keep everything. So this is what is for sure staying. Actually the 3, see, I even have 3 that needs to be decided upon. So this is the Rose Ink, Jones Road, and Wet n Wild. These are going to sit on my desk until I figure things out. There we go. And then for decluttering, I'm decluttering the Jane Iredale, the Bare Minerals, the Milani Glow, and 2 of the Cali Ray. I wear concealers every single day, and I use it where I need it, under my eyes and all over my face. So I do use a lot of concealer, and if I were to travel, I wanted to only bring a carry-on, I would just bring some of these concealers. That being said, I need to figure shiz out. So let's just get started. Here is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Concealer. Shiseido needs to advertise their concealers more. Their concealers are absolutely freaking phenomenal. And I actually learned about Shiseido concealers when I was still an actor, and from a professional makeup artist that worked a lot with actors on very popular TV shows. So she was the one who turned me on to Shiseido concealer, and it's so good. This is just too light for me, and I'm gonna let it go, but I highly recommend this for under your eyes. It's a very beautiful brightening concealer, and it has a really interesting doe foot applicator. I'm gonna let that go so that I can use up some of my other products. Next, I have the Kevyn Aucoin concealers. These are beautiful as well, and highly recommend. This is in the shade Supernatural Concealer EC Corrector, and then this is in the shade Light EC01. So this is more of a peachy corrector, which works beautifully. I usually mix these two because of the fact that this is a little light on me. This is great if you have dark circles and you want to kind of color correct just a tiny little bit or brighten up, and then you want to go in with a concealer. I'm getting rid of these because it's too light for me, and they're quite old, over a year old now, and anything that liquidy that doesn't color match me that's that old is gonna go. Love these though, and I would repurchase these or recommend them to anyone. NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is such a cult favorite for a reason, but I actually reach for my Kosas one more. So I'm going to keep the Kosas one and let go of the NARS one just because I'm not going to get through all of it. A new favorite of mine though is this Dior Forever Skin. This is absolutely a beautiful concealer that works well underneath the eyes as well as all over the face. This is in the shade 1N. I love this concealer. I learned about it from Melissa Alatorre, and then the Kosas one is also one of my favorites, like I mentioned. So I'm in the shade 04N for more of a brightening effect. These two are kind of the two I rotate between the most in this form of product. I have my Friends concealer from Vera Cosmetics, Alexandra. This is a 4-in-1 concealer. I love that it has a broad spectrum SPF 30. This is something that I would wear over my SPF for beachy vacations, or if I'm going to the beach and want to wear concealer, or the pool, or I know I'm just gonna be outside a lot. It uses 9.5% zinc oxide. I love the applicator. It's very cooling and fun and nice. So I'm definitely going to keep this because it is still good until next year. The SPF is still good. I like the packaging, and it also works well all over the face depending on the shade you get. I am in the shade Light Neutral. Pinky Luxe Peeper Perfect. It's a really great, you didn't get any sleep concealer. This is going to cover that, and this went viral on TikTok. So the shade is a little bit off for me. I feel like I need something a little bit lighter. So this is in the shade Light Medium. Honestly, I probably need light, so actually I'm gonna let this go. My Clé de Peau concealer. I've had it for so many years. I need to just let this go because I never reach for it. This I just got, so I'm gonna keep. This is from Jouer. It's their Essential High Coverage Concealer Pen. I've never actually really used this. I think I purchased it way too light. That was very light, but I'm gonna keep it because I just got it, and maybe it'll work for me in the winter time. These are my pot concealers for different reasons. I don't think I need to keep all of them. This one's the one I reach for the most right now because I use it as an all-over concealer as well as my under eyes. It's the RMS Beauty. This is my second one. I'm in the shade 22. It's just a beautiful, like skin, don't have to fuss, don't have to worry about it concealer. It doesn't have any fragrance. It just works really well with my skin. I like that it comes in this wide mouth so that I can dip my brush in there really easily. So this is just what I've been using because it's easy. And then I have these NARS Soft Matte Concealers. These are the best for covering a blemish because of the soft matte texture. Now, the reason I have so many is because of the fact that depending on the color of that blemish, you're going to need something maybe a little bit creamier, maybe a little bit deeper. So I have light, which I don't think I actually need because this one's a little too light, but it is peachy. So I actually might let that go. Medium 1 is my concealer shade, which is Custard. So I think that one's for sure going to stay. And then I have the shade Light 2.5 in Creme Brulee. This one might go as well. I don't need the lighter shades. I'm just gonna keep the medium. So if I have a blemish, I can use it. So Light 2.75 and Light 2.5 are gonna go. And then I have these Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancers. These are beautiful. You can mix them with your primer. You can mix them with your moisturizers. It's a great travel product. If you want to sheer this out, you can use it as a tinted moisturizer. You can use it as a concealer. This stuff's just really amazing. It's water resistant, it's sweat resistant. I just have to figure out which shade I am. So this is in shade SX06, which I have a feeling is like my actual face shade, but it's a little yellow. So next up is SX03. Maybe that one's gonna be my shade. I think this one's a little closer to my actual shade. And then 05 might actually be my shade. Why is 05 so much lighter than or pinkier than 03? Huh. I think 05 is definitely too light. I can't tell. That was 05. This is 03. I think 03 is too light. I'm definitely going to let go of 03. I'm trying to decide if 06 blends out better. Okay, I think I'm going to keep 05 and then I'll let go of 06 because this is a little too orangey. Although I know it's meant to be blended, but I just think it's still too orangey. Let me try this again. I think I'm just gonna keep 05. Yeah, 05 is my shade, so I'm gonna keep 05. So wrapping up for concealers, the Armas Beauty 22, I'm keeping the one of the NARS Soft Mattes, one of the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin, the Jouer Essential Concealer, the Vera 4-in-1 Concealer, my Kosas, and my Dior. I think that's really good for someone who loves concealers. For donating, I'm getting rid of 2 of the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin, 2 of the Soft Matte from NARS, the Winky Lux because it's not the right shade, and I'm going to get rid of the Shiseido, the NARS Radiant Creamy Foundation, 2 Kevyn Aucoin like Skin, and my Clé de Peau concealers. So those are going to find new homes or be recycled. And this is going to go in my makeup drawers. I actually don't wear that much powder anymore. The one I reach for the most is the Kosas Feathery Cloud Set, and you can see it's very well loved. This is what I use to set my concealer. Really love this one, so definitely going to keep it since it's my go-to. Then there are Jouer powders. I love Jouer powders. This translucent one is so good. The radiant one is also really beautiful. I don't feel like I need a ton of translucent powders, so I'm going to keep the radiant one from Jouer. It is a limited edition one. I'm going to let go of these pressed ones because I was keeping them for contouring or bronzing, but I have lots of bronzers and contours, so I feel like someone else will get some use out of that. This is the Pixi by Petra translucent powder. I just don't really reach for this that often. I don't reach for translucent powders that much anymore, and if I do, the packaging of this just kind of gets everywhere, so I'm gonna let this go. Okay, so here is this NARS light reflecting setting powder loose, and it's in Shore, but look how scary it kind of looks for my skin tone. And I don't know if I'm not, like, I don't know how to use it, but it just comes off as like orange for me. So I'm gonna let this go. And then there's the NARS Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder, which I heard really good things about. I just haven't used it, so I'm gonna put it in the, hey, I need to use this, and decide whether or not I like it. So I'm gonna put it in the basket of need to try it out and test it. I'm gonna let go of the regular clear translucent because I don't need it. I have lots of powders. Kevyn Aucoin loose powder. This is a really beautiful one for just setting in that traditional sense. It's very finely milled, very refined, but again, I haven't used it in a while, so I think, I don't know, I think I'm gonna actually keep this one because it is a true translucent and loose powder that I feel like I should keep, and I know I like. This one I purchased because I have a problem. I don't need to be buying more makeup until I use some stuff up, but this is the Prism Libre. I need to use this more, so I'm gonna go put it in the basket of things I need to test out more. Rare Beauty Light Medium Setting Powder. This is another one that I think I really enjoyed when I was using it, but I need to kind of use it more, and I'm gonna put it in that same pile. I have a lot of powders I need to like decide on. I like loose powders, but I typically like translucent loose powders. This is such a great powder for a reason, but I haven't reached for it in a while. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish, and it's in medium 2. I purchased the small one because I was like, oh, I should just get the small one because it's all I need. Oh gosh, and I kind of forgot about it, so I need to use it. I'm not gonna get rid of it because I feel like for an oily, semi-oily girl, powder's something you should have on hand, even though I don't wear a lot of it, honestly. Here's the One Size Translucent Powder. I actually need to try this out. I hear amazing things about it, so I haven't even tested it. It just got thrown into my makeup pile without me testing it, which is embarrassing. I'm very sorry, Patrick, but I need to try this out. I'm gonna put it in that pile. Okay, so for powders that I'm for sure keeping is the Kevyn Aucoin Translucent, the Kosas, the Radiant Translucent from Jouer, which was limited edition, and my mini Charlotte Tilbury because it's just really, really good for when I want to look snatched. I sound so old saying that. We're gonna pretend I didn't say that. I have a lot of powders I need to test out. The One Size one, the NARS Translucent one, that's the Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder. This is the Prism Libre. I purchased this, stupid, but I need to decide if I'm gonna keep it. And then the Rare Beauty, I need to decide if I'm gonna keep this. Honestly, so hard. Yeah, I'm gonna try it out a little bit more. These need to be revisited. And powders that I will be decluttering is this NARS one in Shore, this Pixie Translucent, the Jouer Translucent, and 2 of the deeper shades of the Jouer powders. Bronzers and contours. This is the Chanel Sultan de Chanel. I'm definitely keeping this because it's like one of those iconic products that just is so good. I wish they had one that didn't have the fragrance because the fragrance does kind of like put me off to it. I think I'm gonna try and use this up and then try the Say Beauty one because Say Beauty has one and I think it's fragrance free. Oh, why is mine all cracked? Anyways, this is just a beautiful product. I'm gonna keep it. I'm so sad. I think they discontinued this Dior palette. It's so good. It has 2 contours and 2 highlights. I didn't really use the highlight that often, but the contours were beautiful and this was a beautiful eyeshadow shade. I'm definitely keeping this. I love Dior. Dior is like one of my favorite brands, and I'm so sad if they decided to discontinue this. This is my current everyday one that I rotate in. This is Tower 28 Bronzino in West Coast. It's so bizarre. It looks so shimmery and like not like what it's gonna look like on your skin, because on your skin it looks absolutely beautiful and flawless. You just look like you have life in your face. It looks healthy and glowy, but in the can, even when you swatch it, it looks a little scary. Like, am I gonna put this all over my face? But it's beautiful. What I rotate in a lot with. The other ones that I rotate in with is this Glossier Ray Solar Paint, and this is very wet, but it works. It's a really beautiful semi shimmery, not super shimmery. It just has a radiance to it, bronzer. It feels wet on the skin, so it depends on my mood, but I love it. It's a really good product as well. And then for contour days, I use the Jouer Bloom Bronze and Glow in Sunset. It is a beautiful duo. This is my contour. You can tell I've loved it. Like, I've got maybe a couple weeks of that left if I keep using it. This side is Skinny Dip, which is the highlight. I definitely have a lot more of this highlight left, and I highly recommend this duo. It's just absolutely the best. It looks so natural, so flawless. I'm going to keep these two because I just bought the Mario contour stick because everybody was raving about it. It's in the shade medium, so it doesn't quite replace my Jouer one, but I figured if I use this up, I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario one in medium. This is definitely a truer contour stick. It's like a bronzy contour, which I like. I don't want something that's too gray because that's too harsh of a contour for me. I like something that has a little bit more warmth to it. And then this is a really beautiful, actually this isn't the one I want. This one is more of a light contour, which I'm going to let go of because I feel like it's just a little too milky, if that makes sense. The shade's not right for me, so I'm going to let that one go. But this one is the one I mean. This is from Rare Beauty. It's Always Sunny. This is a beautiful, beautiful warmth on my face. I apply this to not quite my cheekbones and not quite my contour, like that in-between place, and I blend it out. Very beautiful warming of the face. Wears lovely, and these two together kind of give me what I want with the Jouer one. I'm going to keep this one just because I like it, and you know, I feel like I'll get use out of it. Now this one is the Bloom Bronze and Glow and Sunrise. This is a little bit too light for me for a contour, so I'm going to let this one go. And then I have this bronzer, this powder bronzer from Jouer, which I really like. In fact, Jouer powder bronzers in their original packaging, which were like the little gray, grayish purple compartments, those were my first bronzers I fell in love with that were powder bronzers. Now, I don't wear powder bronzers that often, which is why I'm going to let this go because I just don't feel like it's going to get the love it should get. I really love this Undone Beauty one because of the highlights. So I'm keeping this one just because it's kind of like everything in one. You can blend it out. It's very, very smooth and buttery. Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, I'm going to probably let go because I haven't actually reached for this at all, which is so wasteful, but hopefully somebody will get some love out of it. The Kevyn Aucoin Neo Nude, I really want to like this, but I can't seem to get it to work for me. It's just not quite deep enough and bronzy enough, and then you've got the highlight, which is beautiful, but it's just not working for me shade wise. And it's called Sunrise Light. Maybe I need a different shade. I really love the blushes and the highlights of this kind of variety, but this one's not working for me, so I'm gonna let that go. Nessa Myrick Beauty Waterproof Cream Palette, and I used this religiously for like a year. Beautiful palette. I used it to contour. I used it as a cream blush. It is absolutely stunning, and I would totally repurchase it again, but I don't reach for it that often, so I'm gonna let this go because I haven't reached for it in a while, and I have a lot I'm working with over here. Kevyn Aucoin, The Contour Book Volume 3. This is, in theory, perfect for travel and perfect for on the go because you've got your blush, you've got your bronzer, you've got your sculpting powders that you can also use as eyeshadows, and you can use your highlights. But like I mentioned, I just don't use powders that often anymore, and when I do use powders, it's more to set the cream products. I love the idea of this blush, but Venice is not my favorite. It's just not the blush I reach for. It doesn't flatter my skin tone, so while I would like to just keep these sculpting powders and the highlights, this isn't it for me, so I'm gonna let this go. And this is an unopened Tower 28 Bronzino in Gold Coast. I have to test this out still. It's just a different shade. It's a little bit of a lighter, I want to say it's lighter or more orangey. Actually put it in my stash so that when I'm done and ready, I have one to play with. So the bronzers and contours I am keeping is this Dior palette for powder. I'm gonna try and use up this Chanel one so that I can try out the Say Beauty one. The ones that I reach for the most are my Tower 28, my Glossier, and my Jouer, but my backups are going to be the Mario and the Rare Beauty, and then for powder I also have this Undone Beauty one because it's absolutely stunning. Decluttering, I'm going to be getting rid of the Kevyn Aucoin contour book, the Danessa Myricks, this Kevyn Aucoin bronzer, my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, the Jouer bronzer, this Jouer Duo just because it's a little bit too dark, too light, and same with this Rare Beauty one. Really love me some blushes. I love blushes, and I always think that a blush is gonna make me look better. I don't know that that's true. I feel like if I don't do anything, like anything at all, blush will just wake up my face, and I clearly have a problem because it's my largest category that I didn't even realize I had. And I just honestly reach for like 2 or 3 blushes. This one from Euphoria is the one I wear pretty much every single day, and sometimes I'll layer it with something else. And then of course I have my Tower 28. I usually switch off between Rush Hour and Magic Hour. Magic Hour is their top selling blush because it looks great on everyone. It's a very natural flush. And then lately I've been wearing Rush Hour because it's a little bit more corally, and I've been going for more of a coral mood. So these 3 are really all I reach for, but here we have it. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's try this. Okay, Orgasm from NARS. This is so pretty. I don't want to let it go because of all of these beautiful shades. I actually don't like the Orgasm blushes because they don't look right on me, but these I love. These 2, I mean, this one's kind of pretty. Okay, I need to try this. I need to use it. I'm gonna put it in my girl, figure it out, use it pile. This one from NARS is Afterglow. This is really pretty as well. I have a problem. But look how pretty that, oh gosh. Oh, why don't I reach for these? Okay, I need to put this in the, you need to wear that. Laura Lee, I can't let go of this just because it's hers. I love Laura, she's amazing. So pretty too. I love this color, so pretty. Oh, they're so smooth. I gotta use these. Okay, this is the hardest one I've had to do. If you can see my knee, I'm sorry. My back is starting to hurt. Here's a Westman Atelier blush. This is in the shade, I'm not gonna say that right, apologies, but I forgot I had this, to be honest. I love this color. It comes off a little fuchsia on me, which is strange because it's definitely more of like a peachy shade. I want to try and use this more because of the fact that I paid so much for it. I think I'm going to put it in the pile to try out more to see if I'm going to keep it or not. This is such a great product from the drugstore. It's a very beautiful lightweight sheer cheek tint, which is, you're going to love this if you want that whole like no makeup look. I just feel like it's not quite dark enough, especially when I have something like this, the Euphoria one. So I'm gonna let this one go even though I really like it. Same with this Illuze one. I used it a lot because I love that tint. It gives you a tint on your lips as well as your cheeks, but once again, the Euphoria one is a better tint for me, so I'm gonna let that go. I have a bunch of Live Tinted from Deepika. I love her. I love what she's been doing. I'm trying to decide if I need all of these because I do feel like I don't reach for them as much. This is such a unique, beautiful orangey shade. And this is Found, which is such a stunning shade. And Orchid, I don't think I'm going to use, is it, no, this is Origin, so I'll let that one go. This is Rise. I think I'm going to let Rise go. And I think I'm going to just keep, I had 2 Rises, so I think I'm just going to keep Found because I think that's a really pretty shade. I think I'm going to keep both, Rise and Found. Charlotte Tilbury Ferramosa Tea. This has made it through a bunch of my declutters, but I'm just going to let it go because I still haven't worn it or used it. Rare Beauty Nearly Mauve. This is a really cool formulation. I just don't love the blush shade, I think. So I'm gonna let that go. I haven't reached for it in a while. I have all of these Jouer Blush and Bloom. So I don't reach for these that much recently because I really have just been going towards my Tower 28 stuff. So let's look at this. This one is definitely too light for me, so I'm gonna let that go. This is the Côte d'Azur. This was their summer collection, which has this shimmer in it. It's beautiful, but I don't really wear shimmer. This is the Celebrate Lip and Cheek Duo, which I like this shade, but I'm not crazy about that one, so I'm gonna let that go. This is the Amelie collab, which was absolutely beautiful. I love that color, but I just don't really reach for it anymore, so I'm gonna let that go as well, just because I feel like my Tower 28 ones kind of meet my needs with that. And then when it comes to Rare Beauty, these are really beautiful. I for sure am going to be keeping the Joy. It's a really fun pop of coral. I have, this is Encourage Blush, I have Believe, and I have Hope. So let's swatch these. They're so pigmented. This one's a very interesting like nude pink for me. I don't usually have shades like that. I'm going to keep that, I think, just to see if I'm going to wear it. And then that's a really pretty mauve. And then this one is in the shade Believe, which is a really pretty purpley tone. I don't think I need to keep both Believe and is this Hope? No, this one is Encourage. Let me just make sure. I don't think I need to keep both Encourage and Believe. So I think I'm going to keep Believe because it's a little bit deeper, and I'm going to let go of Encourage. I'll keep Hope and Believe along with that. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to actually let go of these from Live Tinted because I haven't reached for them in a really long time. So I'm going to let them go. Next up is this Stila Convertible Color in Peony. I remember when I started getting really into buying makeup again, I was reaching for this and I was like, this is so beautiful. Why are we forgetting about this? And I feel like it's very similar to some of these Rare Beauty shades, just in a different type of formula. So I think I'm gonna let this go because I haven't reached for it since I raved about it a few months ago. And then I have these from Minori Beauty. My issue with these is that it's like the lips are it's too deep and narrow, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't like digging my finger in that. I just don't love the packaging. I love the idea of it. I wish the lip was a little bit wider and the product was a little bit closer to the top. So I'm gonna let these go for packaging reasons. Okay, so this is from Tower 28. I don't reach for this that much. It's the shade Power Hour, and ooh, that is scary. I'm gonna let that go. I don't think I'll ever wear that shade. This is a very beautiful strawberry shade from, what do you call it, Laura Mercier. I really like their powder blushes, especially as a topper, so I think I'm gonna keep this one. Ginger is my go-to, like, barely there blush. It's so good. I don't know how to explain it. It's not something I would ever reach for or purchase myself, but a makeup artist put this on me and I was like, what is that? I have to have it. It's so good. So I'm keeping that. And then this is from Rose Inc. This I never reach for, but maybe I should. I don't know. I just feel like I have so many of the same things. So I'm going to let go of this one as well. This is from Jouer. I'm going to let go of it because it has too much shimmer for my taste. So I'm going to let that go. Brutal Declutter. Color Science blushes, which are absolutely fun and beautiful. I loved using this one when we were at Disneyland to get like a little pop of color with extra protection. So this one is in the shade Golden Hour, and then this one I think I put on my lips and it was in Pink Sky. It's a little fuchsia-y but fun. And then this one is in Violet Haze, which I think this is the one I'm going to let go of because it's a little too violet. for me. So I'm going to keep these two mainly for beach days and when I want a little more sun coverage or sun protection. These are great from LA Girl. Soft matte cream blushes. I just don't know if I like the shades. So this one is in the shade Grace, and I picked it out because my mom's name was Grace. I really want to love this one just because of the name, but I just think it's a little, I don't know, I can't decide. And then this one is in the shade Blissful. So let's try that. I thought this was such a cool like color, this like burnt orange, but I think it's too much for me. So I'm gonna let go of Bliss. I'm gonna keep Grace because I think it's a really pretty like light flush just because of the name. I know I shouldn't, but I am. This is the Mosaic blush from Essence, and it literally looks like white powder, so I'm letting that go. And then here's the Jones Road Tawny Miracle Balm, which honestly is like, what the hell? It doesn't do anything. Like, I get a skin tint, but that doesn't look like anything. Like, I want it to look like something, and it doesn't do anything for me. And I'm kind of bummed because I spent so much money on this and it was like sold out forever, and it has like a weird minty taste, and I don't want to put it on my face. I'm gonna let that go. I'm actually going to let go of this blush palette as well because I think someone is going to find so much joy in this blush palette, and instead I'm just gonna keep this LA Girl Soft Matte Cream Blush in Grace, these two Color Science blushes for sun purposes. I have Strawberry and Ginger from Laura Mercier. This is kind of my everyday situation in Rush Hour, Power, or Magic Hour, and then the Youthforia. These three Rare Beauty blushes. The ones I'm going to reevaluate are these palettes from NARS. I also feel like if I were to keep these palettes, it'd be a good decision because of the fact that I'm gonna have a bunch of different options with this, so I don't need to keep a lot of other products. For decluttering, I actually did really well, I feel like. So I'm getting rid of this, the Rose Ink, the Essence, one of the LA Girls, the Minori ones, the one of the Tarot 28, because this is just like a little intense for me, the Stilla, the Jouer, Rare Beauty, one of the Color Science, a bunch of the Live Tinted, a bunch of the Jouer, the Jones Road, one of the Rare Beauties, more Jouer, Charlotte Tilbury, and Pixie. So I actually did really good here. I'm proud of myself. Highlights. I mainly reach for this Say Beauty highlight. This is in the shade Star Glow, and it's called Glowy Super Gel. Really beautiful sheer glow, not glittery. My child is having a ball outside with Chris. Anyways, very, very glowy, very dewy. I love the texture of it. So I'm definitely keeping it because it's one that I reach for quite a bit. Now, I recently purchased this from Violette FR. It's their Balm Shine. It's a universal highlighter, but honestly, it feels like I just move my makeup around. I have to play with this a little bit more. You know, it looks like there's some shine in there, but when I apply it on my makeup or over my makeup, it looks like it just is moving things around. And I don't know if I'm supposed to use it without anything under it. I still have to play with it. So I'm gonna actually put this in my pile of things I need to reevaluate in life. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. So good, so gorgeous, makes your skin look absolutely flawless. Best $4 you can spend. Essence makes some great products. That's one of them. This is the Danessa Myrick Dew Wet Balm, and if you want that wet look, this is it. It has this like undertone of gold. I just never reach for it anymore. I tried to. I think this was just an impulse purchase that I made trying to feel better about my day, so I'm gonna declutter that. Revlon Skin Lights. This is in the shade Twilight Gleam. 202. It's so beautiful. It's a very beautiful golden highlight, which I feel like I should keep, but I have to make sure there isn't one that I have already, which is Pixie by Petra. This is my favorite highlight duo. This is the Delicate Duo. So you have a nice cool tone and you have a nice warm tone. And I feel like the warm tone is a little bit better than the Revlon one. So I'm going to keep this one and let go of the Revlon Skin Light. So unfortunate that Revlon is going bankrupt. Stila Kitten, I remember loving this when I rediscovered it and I thought, whoa. So it's very similar to that Pixie one. This is just more of that like interesting cushiony thing. I haven't reached for it since I got it, so I need to put it in the whole reevaluate situation. This is something that's always in my arsenal. This is the Laura Mercier Baked Highlight in 01. I learned about this from Kathleen Lights back in the day. It looks a little scary right now, but when you apply this on your face, it just looks incredible. It looks like a subtle, non-glittery, refined highlight. This is from Jouer. It's the Citrine highlight, one of my absolute favorite highlights, especially when it comes to powder. Citrine's my favorite. I'm definitely keeping that. And then this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have it in a sample size just because I'm too cheap to buy the full size. And I have the shade, I think this is 4.5 medium. So if I use this up, I might consider purchasing the larger size, but I haven't used it up yet. I'm definitely keeping it because I do like it. Minori Highlight in Champagne. Once again, I like the product. The packaging just kills me, so I'm gonna let that go. And then this I purchased. I'm so bummed. I read so many reviews and it looks so good, but on me, I can't figure out how to use it. This is the Westman Atelier Pêche, Pelle de Pêche. It's a super loaded tinted highlight, but it's so pigmented that it's almost more of a blush. So I think I'm gonna put it in that pile of I need to play with it, see if it's worth keeping. And then the highlights I am keeping is this Laura Mercier Baked Highlight in 01. I'm keeping the Jouer Citrine. I'm going to keep the Pixie by Petra Gossamer Duo and my Essence Pure Nude. And then for cream ones, I have two. This is Hollywood Flawless Filter, which is more like a base. And then this is an overtop, the Say one. So I'm keeping these, and then these are being decluttered, the Danessa Myricks, Skin Lights, and the Minori Beauty one. All eyeshadows, cream eyeshadows, and the like. This is one of the products I wear the least of. Something about a beautiful eyeshadow palette and me just have a hard time parting, and I just hoard eyeshadow palettes. I really do, and most of them are all neutral, so yay, I have a problem. The Jouer Les Mini Dip. This is such a beautiful palette, and it was limited edition. It is no longer available, which is very, very sad. The only reason I think I might let this go is because I just purchased the Jouer Essential Matte and Shimmer palette, and even though this is like the perfect travel palette, oh god, I don't know. This is also very I can't let go of this because if I ever do travel, see the ifs, that's a problem, right? If I ever travel, this would be like one I would consider bringing because it's so compact and it has everything I need. It's not available anymore. So I keeping, for sure keeping. This is like the one palette that if all palettes disappeared, I could live my life pretty well with the Jouer Essential Matte and Shimmer palette. Such a good palette. This is from Ether Beauty. I just got this in. I'm still playing with it. I think it's really, really beautiful, and I definitely am keeping it. So this Baked Browns had some drama of me trying to get to it, but it's so good. This recommendation from watching Green Eggs and Glam, Jen. Anyways, it's so beautiful. It's very pigmented. It's really, really just a good matte brown neutrals. And it's pretty new, so I'm going to keep it. Tom Ford Nude Dip, I've got to keep it. I mean, it's so pretty. I never wear it, but I'm going to keep it. I have a problem. Glossier, this one I can get rid of because I think it's just very basic. Beautiful, just not necessary. I have these shades in other palettes. This is really beautiful formulation, really beautiful colors, but like I said, I have other formulations in this, and it doesn't make sense for me to have the same shade in 3 different finishes because I would still need another palette to create a whole look, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let this go from Revlon just because I don't reach for it. This is one of those things I got because of TikTok, and I never wear it because, I mean, this just isn't me. I mean, that's kind of me, but that's not me, right? Like, maybe it'll be me one day. I don't know. Maybe I should wear it. I'm gonna keep it for a little bit longer. I'm gonna put it in the you need to figure out how to use that a little bit more pile. Natasha Denona palette is beautiful, but I actually think it's very similar to my Baked Browns from Dose of Colors. Actually, I might like this one more. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Because I love that this has a little shimmer in it. Oh man, but this doesn't really have a crease shade. I mean, this one's kind of a crease shade. Oh goodness. Okay, I think I'm gonna let go of this one and hang on to this one from Natasha Denona. Okay, Thrive Cosmetics. This is beautiful once again, but I feel like I have this one. I'm gonna let that go. This is so pretty. Is it different enough? I mean, I feel like that's a really unique shade, and that's a really pretty gold. Okay, I need to keep that open. This Kevin Aquan palette is really beautiful. It's like this understated, gorgeous palette. So I think I'm gonna keep this. Same with this NARS one. However, is this too similar, or should I let go of this one? Because I also have this one, and that looks very similar to me. Oh, this is so hard. Okay, I think I'm gonna let go of this one just because I have so many very similar ones. So this NARS one's gonna go. I'm gonna keep this NARS one. And then I have this beautiful palette from ColourPop, but I feel like between all of my nudes, I mean, I just feel like I have so many of the similar things, right? But this one's so good. Like, look at that gold, but then I have this one as a gold. But they're kind of different. But then there's that. Oh, I have such a problem with eyeshadow palettes, and they're all like very similar. I'm gonna keep looking. French Riviera, I feel like I can let this one go for sure, although I really like that sable shade. And that Paradise shade. Oh, I love these three shades. I love that khaki. You know what? Should I decant that? I don't know. Because this brown is so beautiful. That like poopy brown. And then that green. Okay, I might decant these and put them in a palette. Should I do it with this too then? No, I don't need that one. I might keep this one just because of the really pretty iridescent. And look at that green and that blue. I don't actually like that blue that much. The green is really pretty. Okay, I might have to keep this. I know I have a problem. This is why I do this. Okay, I've had this one for years because I love Desk Eye, and they discontinued it, but there's no reason to just keep it for that because I don't even wear that anymore. And same with this Charlotte Tilbury one. I never reach for this one because I just don't like it that much. So Stars in Your Eyes palette's going. Instant Eye palette is going. Soft Glam I think is gonna go as well because I'm gonna keep this and this and that and that. Okay, I need to let Soft Glam go. Oh, Natasha Denona bronzed palette. Oh my goodness. I never reach for this because it's just too bronzy, so I'm gonna let that go. I have all of these Charlotte Tilbury palettes. This is in Dolce Vita, which is such a great one, so I think I'm gonna keep that. Exaggerate Eyes, and these Charlotte Tilbury ones, like, there's something so magical about them when you put them on your eyes. It's very bizarre. I don't know how to explain it, but you just look like gorgeous. So the Goddess Eyes, I don't really ever reach for because it's like more muted, but I also don't have anything like it. So maybe I will keep it. I'm having issues. Okay, so Tati Beauty. This is like such a beautiful palette. I was obsessed with it. I'm still obsessed with it. I'm so bummed that it's gone. There's no more Tati Beauty. I'm really upset actually that there's no more Tati Beauty, but these are so beautiful. Like, look at that. Look at that. Like, outside of this row though, I feel like I can get everything. So I'm gonna let this go. Pat McGrath. This is my one and only Pat McGrath product that I've purchased, and I never reach for it. So I need to actually wear this. I'm gonna put it in my wear it pile. And then I love these Nudie Patootie palettes. They're so fun. Nudie Patootie 1 is still my favorite. However, this is my second one, by the way, from Nudie Patootie. These are gorgeous. I'm trying to think if this shade is similar to that shade. Nope. That shade. Nope. Is there anything similar? I mean, these are so pretty. I love these glitters too. Why am I like this? Oh, that's a gorgeous, and then that's like a really pretty brown. Okay, I have a problem. Okay, these have to go. I'm sorry. And then this one, I keep it around because of the colors, because it's so pretty, and I feel like one day I am gonna use these colors, but I probably won't because I don't wear color. I'm just not that person. But they're so pretty. Look at that. Look at these colors. Okay, I'm gonna let that go. What else can I declutter from this pile? I'm gonna let this go. French Riviera. I just need to let that go. I think this is as decluttered as I'm gonna get with these eyeshadows. And I'm having second thoughts about keeping some that I'm letting go of. So I think I need to just close these up and be happy with the declutter. I don't know. I feel like these two are so similar, huh? Should I let one of these go? They're so similar. Okay, this one's going. Can I get rid of any more of the Charlotte Tilbury ones? I feel like I don't really wear this one. Exaggerize, but the Golden Goddess. I mean, I haven't reached for it, so I'm gonna let those go. Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, these are it. Can't do any more. My heart hurts. These are the palettes I'm keeping. My Jouer Essential Nudes and Shimmer palette, my Natasha Denona Peak 5 eyeshadow palette, Nude Mood from ColourPop, NARS Summer Solstice Le Mini Dip, the Charlotte Tilbury The Golden Goddess and Dolce Vita Ether Beauty, and Tom Ford Eye Quad in Nude Dip. Those are the ones I'm keeping. I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario or get rid of it, and this Pat McGrath Mothership palette that I spent way too much money on. Here are all the palettes I'm decluttering. Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam, Natasha Denona Bronze Goddess, Kevin Aquan, NARS The Skinny Dip, Thrive Cosmetics, French Riviera from Jouer, Exaggerize from Charlotte Tilbury, two more Charlotte Tilbury palettes, Nudie Patootie 2, Tati Beauty, Candy Skies, Baked Browns from Dose of Colors, Revlon, and Glossier. They're all of my single shadows and cream shadows, liquid shadows kind of situation, and glitters. This I think I can get rid of quite a bit just because I don't use a lot. So these two are sentimental. My mom bought them for me. They're really old. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm not letting them go. It was kind of the last things she ever purchased for me. This is the Chanel New Moon. It's absolutely stunning. Anytime I wear it, somebody will comment. This is the cream color for eyes in Spice from Tom Ford. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but this was the first Tom Ford product along with a lipstick that my mom had gotten me. So these two things I'm still not letting go of. New Moon, if they have another one I might replace it, but this one's dried out. It's just so pretty. I keep them for sentimental reasons. Nessa Myricks Color Fix, these are great. I highly recommend them. They're just not the greatest shade for my eye color, so I'm gonna let these go. And then this CoverGirl glitter is absolutely beautiful, so I'm actually going to, I think I'm gonna keep this because it's so unique and pretty and it looks so good on the eyes and I like it, so I'm gonna see if I can get some use out of that. This is from Burberry. It's in the shade Rosewood. I purchased it because it's this really beautiful taupey shade, but I never wear it, so I'm gonna let that go. These are from NARS. These are kind of their version of the Scattered Lights, but it's in the shade, it's called Power Chrome Loose Eye Pigment. To be honest, I just don't really reach for them, so I'm gonna let them go. These are the Hourglass Scattered Lights. These are absolutely stunning, but again, I don't really reach for them. I think this gold is just too gold and it's not really my look anymore. And then this is in the shade Reflect. Let's see if this one is more my tone. I might keep Reflect just because it's a really pretty like champagne-y shade that I don't necessarily have. And then this is in Smoke, which has more of like a gray tone to it, so I might keep that one around, which then makes me think I might get rid of this CoverGirl one because I feel like the Scattered Lights is very similar to that, just a different formula. And then this is the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill. I really love this color, but I just don't think it looks that great on me. It's in the shade number 9, or is it number 6? Number 9. I think it's really pretty, just not the right color. I need something a little bit deeper or a little bit bronzier, so I'm gonna let that go as well. This I'm keeping for the Makeup by Mario palette. Then I have these 3 Pixie eyes. They're called, what are these called? They're called the Eye Lift Max. These are really pretty. I love wearing both of these shades. This one might be a little too light, so I'm gonna let this one go. This is in the shade Sunset, but the shade Mocha and Copper are really gorgeous. And then for random eye stuff, I have a brown gel liner and an eyeshadow primer potion from Urban Decay that I keep around. But I'm keeping 2 Pixie Eye Lift Max. Oh, and then this is the Kjaer Weis eyeshadow. This is like the perfect no shadow for me, and it's in the shade Charmed. So I've had this for a while now, but I really like the color. It just looks really good on me. And then I'm keeping 2 of the Hourglass Scattered Lights. Might declutter them at a later date, but I really like these. I'm gonna keep them for now, and we'll see how I get along with them in a few weeks or a few months. These are the ones I'm getting rid of. A bunch of the NARS Loose Pigments, 1 of the Pixie Eye Lift Max, 1 of the foils from Hourglass, the CoverGirl, the Janessa Myricks, the Giorgio Armani, and this Burberry shadow. When you're filming so long that all of your batteries are dead. Let's go through some lip products. This is the category I wear the least of. I maybe put some lip balm, lip gloss on, and then I kind of just move on with my life. I don't think about it too much. It's the category I should keep the least amount of. So I actually just purchased the Bizou Balm from Violet FR. It is in the shade Batisi. It's a sheer matte balm. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I do like the color. It gives me a nice like wash of color, and it's somewhat hydrating, but it's not shiny. It's a unique product. I am going to keep it to continue to test it out and see what I think about it. It's so sad that Revlon's going out of business, but they make some great lipsticks. This is in the shade 755 Bare It All. I'm gonna let that go. It's a little too nude. This is also relatively new to me. It's a Westman Atelier lip balm. I purchased it because I have a shopping problem, and this is also why I'm doing a no buy and going through all of my stuff, because it makes me really, it puts everything in perspective. So this is the liquid lip balm in Squeaky Clean, and it's the shade Naturel. I haven't worn it enough to decide whether or not I like it. It is very hydrating, and I like the packaging. So I'm going to keep it around, obviously, because I just purchased it. And I'm also keeping my Jouer Essential Hydrating Lip Oil. It's one of my favorite lip oils. It's not too sticky, not too oily, just the right amount of hydration. And the dispenser is the perfect amount every time. Like nothing too much. And this is the Shine Balm Nude Illuminator from Revlon. Also a really good product. I do love this, so I'm going to keep this one because it is a very pretty nude. Then here's the Kjaer Weis lipstick. I don't love this shade, so I'm going to let that go. This is my tint from Holika Holika. I'm going to let this go because I don't really like the way it feels anymore. I have a ton of Tower 28 lip glosses because they're some of my favorite lip glosses. This is in Coconut, which is one of my favorite pinks. This is in Chestnut. And then I have Almond, and I have Cashew. I think I'm going to keep Cashew, and I'm going to let these 2 go. And I have a mini of the Jouer Essential Hydrating Lip Oil, which I'm going to keep so I can throw in my bag. A mini of the Tower 28 Shine Lip Jelly. I love having these minis around. This is a really pretty red in Spicy, Tower 28 Spicy. See, they're like, you can build them up. They actually have quite a bit of pigment and they look beautiful on the lips. So this is in the shade Pistachio. I actually don't really like this one. I like coconut better, but I'm going to try this out a little bit more. These are from Euphoria. They make such beautiful, beautiful lip glosses. This one I am going to let go of 3 a.m. and it doesn't look that great on my skin tone. Let me just show you. It's a little too purpley and like grayish purple, so I'm going to let that one go. Then we have Tower 28 Fearless, absolutely stunning shade. Forget the filler from Lawless. I have to decide if I like this shade. It's a little too pink, I feel like, so I'm going to put this in the try it for a few days, if not weeks, to see if I'm going to keep it. This I want to like, but I don't like how minty it is. It's also kind of like wet, so I'm going to let this go. It's Makeup by Mario. It's Apricot Glow. Everybody went crazy over it. I just didn't really like it. So I'm letting that go. Cali Ray, these lip glosses, I wanted to like them. There's nothing really wrong with it. I just think they're almost too sheer and I didn't give them enough time. So I am going to play with them a little bit more. I'm going to put it in the pile of things I need to keep trying. This is from Minori. I like this, but I have so many clear glosses, and honestly, out of all of them, I'm going to keep the Tower 28 Chill. I'm also going to get rid of this L'Oreal one because, like I mentioned, I only need one clear gloss. I don't need all of these clear glosses. This is from Westman Atelier, and this is their nude lip situation. I tried to make this work, but there's like no pigmentation and it doesn't go on the lips easily. Like it's kind of a dud to me, so I'm gonna let this go. I have two very similar colors. This is from Minori Beauty, but I really love this one. It's the Sheer Rose from Pixie, so I'm gonna let the Minori Beauty one go and keep the Pixie one for now. Although this Merit one is absolutely stunning. Au Naturel. It's a tinted lip oil. It's got quite a lot of pigmentation for a lip oil. It's so comfortable on the lips. It's one of my favorites. I kind of forgot about that. This one is a really pretty one as well from Minori Beauty. It's got like a little gold reflex in it, but I just don't love it enough to keep it, so I'm going to let that go. This is a Revlon lip gloss. I'm going to let that go. Or a Mercier. Let's see what this one looks like. It's a little too pink for me, like too bubblegum pink, so I'm going to let that go. Flower Beauty makes some of my favorite lip tints. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to keep it, although mine's really old, so I might have to just buy a new one if I want it. So I'm going to let this go just because it's so old. It doesn't smell funny though. Do you think I should keep it? I feel like I should keep it just because it doesn't smell funny yet. L'Oreal, this has a really pretty like golden reflect to it. So I think I'm going to keep it because it's different from like a clear gloss. And then I keep these little mini ones just because I like to keep them in my purse. I'm going to get rid of the Revlon Color Stay inks. I did really like these, but they had a little bit of a berry scent I didn't like to it. Then I have this Fit Glow Beauty. I really love their lip colors. Not a fan of this shade, which is in the shade Buff. It's a little too, I don't know. I might keep this actually because now I'm thinking I like it. Let me keep it. Here is a lip stain in Koi from Flower Beauty. I really like these. They're kind of like old though. Okay, I'm gonna let these go because I need to just let them go. This is Amazing Grace from Charlotte Tilbury, which I keep because of the name, but I should probably just let go of it because I'm never gonna wear that shade. I love these lip maximizers by Dior. This just makes your lips look amazing. It's such a beautiful, beautiful shade. So I think I'm gonna keep this. How old is mine? I don't know if I should keep it. Does it smell funky? I think I'm gonna still keep it. I'm gonna let it go because it's kind of old. Here is one of the balms from Dior. I am going to keep it. This is in the shade 012 Lip Glow. I got this around Christmas time. I need to use it. It's from Tom Ford. It's not worth the price in my opinion, but it's really pretty. So it's a lip balm. I'll keep that. These are from Glossier. It's the cranberry. It was for Christmas time or the holiday time. I'm just not really into this shade. I got it. I wanted to like it. I don't. So I'm going to let those go. I just have so many lip products and I just don't wear that many lip products. I really like this little mini from Bobbi Brown. It's the Free Spirit Gloss in what is this? Crushed oil infused gloss. I got this mini and it's just awesome. But I have so many shades similar to this, but I love this formulation. But this is gonna get let go though. I want to keep these NARS pencils, but I just don't reach for them, so I'm gonna let them go. Same with this Glossier. These NARS lip balms are amazing. I absolutely love them, but I don't really reach for them that often, so there's no reason for me to keep all of them. I think I'm just gonna keep 2. I love the Jouer. This is their lip cream in Sherry. It's such a beautiful limited edition shade. I'm gonna let it go because it's kind of old. Here's a Rose Beauty lip color. This is in the shade Quartz. Kind of doing this weird thing, so I'm gonna let that go. Hostess lipsticks, some of my favorite lipsticks. Undone is one of my favorite shades, but I just don't really wear lipstick that often. And I feel like when I need one, I can always just pick it up because I don't want these to go bad. So I'm gonna let those go. Same with these NARS ones. These are so beautiful. They're audacious lipsticks. I remember when these first came out. I'm gonna let most of these go, although this one's so pretty. But I just don't think I'm gonna get to them. This one is in Barbara. Maybe... would I wear Barbara? No, I still wear like a gloss or a lip stain, so I'm gonna let those go. I have these lip toppers from Jouer. This is the Skinny Dip and this is in Rose Gold. I'm keeping Skinny Dip. I'm letting go of Rose Gold. I have these lip pencils from Bobbi Brown. I really like that they're like a pencil and they're very creamy. I think I'm gonna keep maybe 1 or 2 shades because I don't like that I can't see what the color is or even what color story they are because of the packaging, but the formula is pretty good. I don't really wear a lot of reds anymore, so I'm just gonna keep the one that's more like mauve-y. And these Pillow Talk ones are great, or Pillow Lips from It Cosmetics. I feel like these are better than the Tarte ones that came out recently, and I think It Cosmetics did it first. I have one in my purse right now, but I'm gonna let some of these shades go just because I think I had kept like all the berries, which makes no sense because I don't need to keep every berry. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the berries because I actually don't wear berry shades that often. And then I have a bunch of these NARS Air Matte lip colors. They're so stunning. I think I'm just gonna keep a couple. I want to say I would wear this brown, but I'm just not gonna. It's too dark for me. And then this one is a really pretty nude, but not for me. This coral, is it like an orangey red? That looks fun. I might keep that one because it's different. And then I'm not gonna keep this red because I just don't see myself wearing it. And then this is a mauve pink, which I just don't see myself wearing. Yeah, I don't see myself wearing a lot of these shades that I ended up keeping earlier. This I bought because of Choose Your Glow or Show Your Glow. This is the Sephora blush oil. I bought it in the shade 12 because they were sold out of so many, and I don't know that I love this shade. I need to try it out actually, so I'm gonna put it in this pile of things I need to test out. this is all of the lip products I'm going to be keeping. It's still kind of excessive. Honestly, I think I'm going to get rid of pistachio because I'm not a huge fan of pistachio. I like coconut more, and I rather use up all of it than keep something around that I might not even get to. So here are all of the lip products I'm keeping, like I mentioned earlier. And these are new to me from Thrive Cosmetics, but I have been wearing one of them. I don't know which one. I think I've been wearing, this is the shade Cara, so it's new to me. They're really hydrating balms with a sheer tint, and I like that, but I don't need to keep all the shades. So let's just go through them right now since they're here. This is an Anna, which is going to be a lot redder. And I think I'm gonna let go of that because it's just a little too red for me. Here is a clear balm, which I always like to keep. Then we have Neely, which is a really pretty coral. I think I'll keep that. Then we have Rowan, which is a deeper berry shade. I think I'll keep that. It reminds me of like Black Honey from Clinique. And then this is Melissa, which is I think a nude, which I'll also keep. So I'm gonna play with these a little bit. I'm gonna put them in the play pile. That's all of my lips, which is pretty impressive. I feel like I narrowed it down quite a bit. I kind of want to keep that Dior lip gloss, but it's pretty old, so I'm gonna let go of that. And these are over here, so I have some color, I have some variety. Like I said, I really just wear very minimal lip color these days, so this is a good situation. And I think that's almost it. I have lip liners and eyeliners left and eyeshadow sticks. We're at the home stretch, guys. Here is what's left that I need to figure out what I'm keeping. This is from my everyday makeup bag. This is the Cali Ray eyeliner in brown. It's called Secret Spot. So I've been wearing that. My go-to lip liner is from Jouer, and it's in the shade Sienna. It's really beautiful. My Lips Bit Better. I recently talked about it in a TikTok/Instagram reel. My version of the Perfect Pillow Talk, because Pillow Talk is a little bit too pink for me. And then the two mascaras I have are the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water. This is a tubing mascara, which I really like, especially since I've been swimming a lot. I don't plan on what days I'm gonna go swim necessarily, but I get ready and sometimes it's so hot, I'll just go do some laps in the pool. It's a really great way for me to de-stress, get some exercise in, as well as spend some time with the family outside. I don't look like a hot mess when I wear this. This one, I really love the formula of this. I don't love it if I have a sweaty day because the volumizing brown balm, is it brown balm? Yeah, mascara. It's beautiful. It's from L'Oreal. The problem with this is that it does smudge if I get too sweaty. But I kind of rotate between these two. I also have the telescopic mascara. This is literally one of those like OG ride or die mascaras for length. It's beautiful. It lasts all day on me, but I don't wear it that often in the summer just because this is kind of been my go-to. I'm keeping all three of those though because I have a nice variety with all three of those together. Let's go over some of the eyeliners and brow products. Let me just pull these out. Okay, I think these are all of my eyeliners. So I have a black eyeliner from Cali Ray, which I think I'm gonna keep because I really like these. This is a really cool teal color. I just don't see myself using it, so I'm gonna let that go. This is from Kat Von D. They recently sent me, oh no, I just broke it. They recently sent me all of these tattoo liner pencils, and they're good. They're just not anything to like write home about. I feel like they're okay. I like my Cali Ray one a little bit better. I think I'm gonna let go of this one, or maybe not. Oh, is that a pencil sharpener? So it's a twist up. I don't love this one. I'm gonna let that go. This used to be one of my favorite liquid liners from Tom Ford. It's dual ended, but it smudges on me now, so I'm gonna let that go. I have a black eyeliner from NARS. These are kind of old, so like they don't even open. I'm gonna let that go. Brown ones from NARS, they're pretty dried out, so I'm gonna let them go. I'm actually gonna let all of these go because they're pretty dried out. And then I'm just going to keep the black one from Cali Ray in case I wanted to keep a black one. So I don't love the Refi brow products. I don't know. I love the idea of it. The color doesn't look that great on me. The pencil is a little too dark. I think I bought the wrong shade. I would give the pencil another try, but this, I have a love-hate relationship with this brow gel. I feel like it's not the best look. So I'm going to get rid of those. Let's go through some more lip liners. This one's one of my favorite very nudie lip liners. This is very similar to Sienna. It's from Kevyn Aucoin and it's in the shade Divine. I'm gonna let this go just because it's a sharpener versus a mechanical, and I don't always love sharpening my lip pencils, and it's so similar to Sienna. Then I have the Jouer Bare Rose, which is a very beautiful pinkier shade, and it reminds me a lot of Pillow Talk, but I'm gonna let that go because I don't love the pinkness to it. This from Pixi though is a great one. It's Natural Rose. This is a really pretty Your Lips Bit Better. You can see it's like splitting the difference between Sienna and Bare Rose for me. And then this red one I keep around from Jouer just in case I need a red lip liner, but honestly I don't, so I'm gonna let that go. Kjaer Weis lip liner in Saturate. This is a really pretty one as well. It's a little more browny than the Sienna one from Jouer, but I'm gonna keep it because it is very, very pretty on its own. And then this one is the Sienna Shimmer. So it's the shimmery version of Sienna, and it gives you like a little bit of a lip flip. I don't really use it for that, so I'm gonna let that go. This is Hazelnut, I believe, Hazelnut Tea from Laura Mercier, one of my favorite nudes. And again, very similar to Sienna. I am gonna keep this one because I like it, and why not? This one is from Revlon Color Stay. This is in the shade Nude, and once again, very, very similar to Sienna, to all of my lip pencils. So I'm gonna let this one go just because I have so many, but if you need a dupe for that, and Revlon is still available where you're at, get this one. Actually, I'm going to keep it just because nostalgia. Then we have the lip liner from Thrive Cosmetic in the shade Jessie. This one is a little too nude for me, so I'm going to let that go. It's almost like washing me out. So I'm going to keep these, and I'm going to keep that one eyeliner. And then let's go over these eyeshadow crayons real quick. I don't know where that lavender came from, but we're gonna work with it. Let's go over the eyeshadow crayons that I have out already. I don't use these that often, but they make for a really quick eye look, which I like to do. Jouer, I think this is really old, so, but it's such a pretty green. I'm gonna start swatching on my arm. That's a really beautiful, like army looking green. It's, what shade is it? It's called Modern. So I like that. I'm possibly going to keep it. Then I have Laura Mercier in the shade Plum. It's going to be a very beautiful deep purple. I like to keep it in case of a smoky eye. I'm not keeping a ton of eyeshadows. This is in the shade Surreal. I definitely don't like this one. It's a little too like hard. It might just be old. This one is in Metallic Taupe. So I love that beautiful shimmer. This one is in the shade Stellar from Thrive Cosmetics. I think I like this for like brightening up my Lillian just got home from the park. I think I'm going to keep Stellar from Thrive Cosmetics for more of like an under eye brightener, and then this one for more of an inner corner highlight from Laura Mercier. Shade in Raspberry. It's a really pretty unique purple. I might keep that around as well because it's just such an easy way to do your eye makeup. The shade Intense Amethyst, and that's, again, it's so pretty. They're hard for me to get rid of because they're just so effortless. Kahaki. I'm gonna get rid of that because that one is very similar to the Jouer one I'm keeping. Here is Rose Gold. I'm gonna compare it between these two. I personally prefer the, which one was that? Metallic Taupe over Rose Gold. Rose Gold's got a little more of that rose goldness to it, like that warmth to it that doesn't look so great on my on my skin tone. And then we have Jouer in Regency. I think I'm gonna let this one go. It's a little too yellow for me. There is Copper. This is one of those like beautiful ones from Laura Mercier. Dried up a little bit, so I'm gonna let that go. And Glow, and again, it's kind of like falling apart, so it's gonna go. Then I have Sapphire from Laura Mercier. Really beautiful blue. I'll keep that just in case I wanted to wear blue. Cocoa from Laura Mercier. Really beautiful deep brown, but I just don't see myself using it, so I'm gonna let that go. This is in Burnished Bronze. I love using that as like an all over color as well. And there's a little bit more shimmer to it. They look really beautiful on the eyes. This one is in Nude Rose, which is very similar to this color Story, and I don't see myself wearing it alone, so I'm gonna let that go. Then I have this one, which is in Smoke, and I think it's just too dark for me personally, so I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna end up keeping these shadow sticks. I have these that I haven't even opened. So I have Au Naturel. Let's just take a look at the color. So this is a matte. I don't really love matte eyeshadow sticks, so I'm gonna let that go. Tuxedo, I have a feeling, is a matte black. Yes. So I'm gonna let that go as well. And Intense Moonlight. Let's see what that looks like. That is probably too white. So I'm gonna let that go. There you have it. I'm gonna keep these. Okay, I've been at this for quite a long time now. I think I'm going on 4 or 5 hours. My shoulder hurts, my back hurts from sitting on the ground. I think I did pretty good. I'm gonna put everything away and show you what it looks like, but I need to stretch my back for a minute. So I think I've got it all organized. All of my makeup now fits in these 2 drawers, which is incredible for me. I haven't been able to do this in years. Drawer number 1, I've got all of my highlights, primer, foundation, skin tints, concealer, powders, bronzers. Drawer 2, I've got my blushes, some lip colors that I don't wear as often, all of my glosses and lip balms, tinted lip oils, balms, and then all of my eyeshadows. Very excited, guys. Everything fits into here except for I have my setting spray I'm kind of playing with and a skincare oil. This I'm still testing out. I have all of my tools: eyelash curler, nail file, lash glue, tweezers, and then I have my mascaras, my brow product, which is just the Kevyn Aucoin brow pencil, and my Kosas Air Brow. Then I have my lip liners, and then I have my eyeshadows. And with my mascaras, I also have a black eyeliner and a brown eyeliner. So I think that's pretty impressive. I have this little container with all of the products sitting out for me to test out for the next few weeks. Now let me know, do you want an updated video on all of these products? Like, am I keeping it or am I getting rid of it? Do you want something quick where I'm just going through everything really quickly as I decide to declutter it or move it into one of these drawers? Or do you want me to sit down and do a whole video on it? I might just do more like a TikTok short form video, because I want to get through all this and move it down either in the drawer or declutter it so that I can continue to test out new products, because I just got all the new Rare Beauty lipsticks in. I also got some really cool LA Girl makeup in. There's just a lot coming in. I have lots of products I'm still testing out. I have a pile of new products I need to go through and decide what I'm keeping, what I'm donating, what I'm giving away. If you love beauty products and love my content, make sure you sign up for my weekly newsletter. I do monthly giveaways for my weekly newsletter subscribers. You can sign up through my blog or in the link in the description box. I send out once a week all the links, all the products, and all the content I create. This way you don't have to be scrolling every single day. I link all of my TikToks, my Instagram reels, and posts, as well as any new YouTube videos. I update you a little bit on what's going on in my life, and I link anything that you might be interested in those videos and those posts, because I know it's really hard to catch all the links, and this way you can shop if you want to, if it serves you, and if not, no worries. It's just a little less intrusive way. I feel like I'm not always constantly being like, shop my link, here's my link. And I don't post links very often on socials, mainly because it's very time consuming and I think it doesn't serve most of us. I feel like the more someone talks about something, constantly linking it, the more likely I'm going to buy it and not think about that purchase. It just makes it too easy via Instagram. Whereas if you like saw it and you were curious about it, you can click on the link if you choose to in a newsletter. I think it's a little bit more like thought out before you make that purchase. Anyways, that's how I shop. That's how I think about shopping. I hope that the newsletter is not only beneficial, informative, and provides a one-stop shop for everything. You can pick and choose what you want to watch and what you want to click on. And you get to know me a little bit more. Plus, I do my giveaways through there. It's just the easiest way for you to fill out the Google form I send you if you're interested in the giveaway that month. It lets me know that the winners are active members of this community, which is always a good thing because I want to make sure active members are the ones that are receiving the gifting. I also do team up with brands for bonus giveaways where the brands offer giveaways. Some of my favorite brands last month was with Wildling. I'm hopefully going to have some more coming up. I also update you guys on new podcast episodes as well as new YouTube videos through the newsletter. It's just a really intimate way for us to kind of communicate because you can always reply to my newsletter and I read them. I read every email. I try to respond to all of them as well, but I'm a little slower with responding. I am really excited for this new chapter in my life. It's been a long journey, long process, but I'm done with worrying about what brands and people think about me in that sense. I just want to make sure I'm creating content that I want to watch myself, that makes me happy, and hopefully the right audience will find me and will continue to support me. I want to encourage mindful consumption, and that includes everything in your life, from the content and media you consume to the nutrition you put in your body to the people that you surround yourself with and to the shopping. There is a fine line with enjoying and treating yourself and overdoing it, and I'm always kind of trying to figure out what is right for me and my family, and hopefully my videos promote mindful consumption and loving what we already have, having goals, but also enjoying the journey and the process and finding joy in the now. Thank you for watching this incredibly long video. Hopefully you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. As always, my content is here to motivate and inspire you to look and feel your best from the inside out, outside in. Subscribe, do all those things. Everything will be linked in the description box, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye!